All right, welcome to Your Coach, Your Money, where we aim to educate and motivate our young professional, semi-professional, and amateur athletes to make great financial decisions. Today I'm here with my partner, Mark Esley.
Yeah, excited. We got a great guest today.
We have a great guest, and he is bald, and he is the second best looking bald guy in here. And
we really wrestled with having him come in.
We really had to do some leg locks to get him in here.
That's the fun start.
The professor is with us today. Nels also has a podcast. He has The Professor and the Hammer, who happens to be a good friend of mine, Richard Cloudhammer, right? And he loves playing D&D with me, which is really cool too. We're kind of nerds outside of here. It's okay. But no, we have a great practitioner of the martial arts with us today, and also a fantastic business owner. Nels, you're the man. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Thank you. I met you through Cage Wars. I was always just looking like, oh my God, there's a guy here bigger than I am. Like, that doesn't happen that often.
And he moves really well. He's not a slug, right?
And then I found out you had a cup of coffee with the Cowboys. I'm like, he's good with me. Then they fell with the Giants, and then whatever.
Very short.
But I'm myself. It's funny because I went to college in Massachusetts at Western New England College. Now the university, they're all bougie now. But I was the only one ever on my teams to have a real major. You know what I mean? Like I was an IT major, computer information systems, they called it back then. And everyone else was sports management. Not that that wasn't a real major, but it wasn't like the stereotypical business or sports major. And I grew up without a father. I grew up my grandfather taking that role, and he was a big investor. Like, I remember him talking about the stock market when it was at 10,000, right? Now it was a big deal at 10,000. Now it's what, 46,
47.
So like he got me early into investing.
Cool.
Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, that kind of stuff. And I always wanted to be a businessman of some sort, but at the same time, sports was a big part of my life. Obviously, I was a basketball player in college, and then I got into IT, started going, and I always wanted to just play basketball, and unfortunately kids don't play basketball like they used to play basketball. There's no leagues. There's not a lot of leagues. If there's a lot of BS that goes on.
Everything's AAU, everything's politics, everything's travel.
So I got into Jiu Jitsu when I was getting married, and I didn't want to be fat in my wedding photos.
You didn't get into Jiu-Jitsu because you were getting married.
No, right. He wanted to lose weight. And his wife's very scary. She's slapping him around.
She don't play fair. There's no rules. But I wanted to, and that was like when the UFC was getting big. Again, it was they got banned in the early 90s, and then they were coming through, and Dana White did the what was that called? The Ultimate Fighter show.
It started with the Ultimate Fighter. So, I think what put them on the map was it was Stefan Bonner and what the heck? Forrest Griffin.
Yeah.
And they had this huge rivalry, and I think that's what kind of put them on the map.
Sure. That was crazy.
And then they had Chuck Liddell. He was like a huge draw, and Tito Ortiz was a huge draw back then.
People were watching to see if the coaches would go at it.
Right. Yeah. Well, the Anderson Vanderlei Silva and
Chael.
And Chael,
like can't let you get that close.
Yeah, like can't let you get close, right? So, but I mean, Nels really put together a great local business that supports young, upcoming fighters, but also helps community members learn how to defend themselves.
Right. Yeah.
And it's for all ages, all races, all genders, right? Like anyone can do it.
How'd that come about? What was the catalyst? Like finding the location, understanding where you wanted to be?
I went to, it's a great guy in Albany still, Victory BJJ, where I took my first couple lessons. And it's funny because his son, Cameron McLeod, who fought in the last one, and Victor was great. But Victor was extremely late for every single practice. And it was in Albany. So I was like, I love this, but I just can't make it work. I live out in the Glenville area. So I met someone my wife worked at, which is funny because they used to work right here, ACO Financial used to be right behind here, and she introduced me to a coworker whose husband did it, and we started training there, and I met now my business partner at that gym, and that's how I made my relationship with Jukau, and things just kind of went a certain kind of way that my business partner and I wanted to do something different. It was out of his house, and we wanted to concentrate on kids jiu-jitsu, women's self-defense, something you can't do in a house. I mean, you got to have
a mat.
You need a brick and mortar
corporate space. Yeah.
So and we kind of just took what Master Jukau I don't want to get bitten for calling him
Might get
casual
slapped around, watch
Cal.
out.
And but he kind of taught us how we should treat people. And he always said treat everyone like family, because eventually it's going to come a time where you're like, hey, I got to raise my dues $20, and if I'm some guy that you don't particularly care for, not particularly close, you're like, well, $20 for what? I'm not getting anything more of it.
Yeah.
But if you treat it like family, like, man, this guy I went through a divorce. I was there for him.
There's an emotional
my dog
piece,
died. He
right?
called me. You know what I mean? So
Nels, you're talking about the same thing we deal with on a daily basis as an advisor, right? The majority of our conversations are non-transactional.
Yeah.
Hey, man, what happened? You got in a car accident.
Right.
Your dad dies. That support structure is important as you run a business, you know?
So that's what we built on. My business partner is former Alan Gadoff is a former state worker as well. I work for the state as well, and he was retiring, and his dream was always to open his own gym. And we were going down to IBJJF in New York. He just said, why don't you come with me? You know, you and I could do this together. You know, because I have a young family. He's older. His family's grown and off, and he's like, I can be the guy that's there all the time, and you can kind of help out when we can, and together we can build it. So we started out in Rotterdam at a dynamic fitness, which is a kettlebell class.
Kettlebell, yeah, I remember that.
And we took the slack time that she didn't have classes, which was at like 9:30 at night. Our classes were super late. We structured the deal so we didn't have to pay money up front. Him and I think we both kicked in like $500 a piece to pay for insurance and buy puzzle mats that we had to rip up every single night and put back down. Rip up every night, put back down. And we quickly grew. And the scariest part was we moved to, you know where Center Street Pub is, right? Right across the street is the garages are repo garages, but it's a house that a play company used to do their rehearsals in, and we're like, this is perfect. You know what I mean? At the time, we had 17 students. Like, we could.
So what's the name of the gym right now? Because I want to highlight it when we do our.
My current gym.
Yeah, what's the name?
So Team Jacau, New York.
Team Jacau, New York.
And we have 2 locations. We'll get into that in a little bit, because it gets confusing. So we moved into space, and we grew from 17 to 55 students within 3 months.
Wow!
And we already had the
word got out.
Yeah, and we were just like, we're trying to fit mats in like rooms to do like privates, and like we couldn't, like, we're stuffing people. People were getting injured every class because there was just too many people in there.
It became a safety concern.
Yeah, 100%. So, and that's when we first started doing MMA, and we had a lot of people who were, I don't want to say retreads, but like they were not, like, they came from other schools. They weren't people who came to my school and learned how to fight. It was Guy Hammond, Cody Dickershade, great guys, just guys that came from other places, and you know, they were used to doing things their way and that kind of thing, and they ended up like doing 1 or 2 fights and then moving on, and you know, it was great relationships. We had a great time with those guys, but it was just like, this is just not for us, you know. And what really started was Kyle Glasheen. There was another fighter, but I don't really want to talk about that other fighter. But Kyle Glasheen was the first guy, and he kind of just like, hey, I signed up for a fight at Cage Wars. I'm like, whoa, what do you mean? And
you already say signed up, man.
Yeah, so he worked out of the G box in Clifton Park, and he was doing boxing there, and came to Jiu Jitsu with us, and that's kind of where we kind of started to gatekeep people coming in wanting us to fight. Like, hey, listen, we'll handle everything for you.
Right.
Tell us you want to fight. We'll train you. When you're ready, we'll put you in the cage.
So you became like a trainer, manager, professional. Almost, you got like a little bit of a trifecta going.
Oh yeah,
right.
And at first it was easy, you know, because I only had 2 or 3 fighters.
But that's a safety thing too. I mean, a lot of people think they're ready,
but
they're not.
Right. You know what level they're at. You know how much more time they have before they.
I've turned away more business than I can count of people calling me, hey, my bucket list is to fight in the cage. Cool. You come to me, it's going to be 6 months to a year, depending on how quickly pick up.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait that long. Well, okay, there's other gyms to go to.
Right. Well, you're going to ensure that they're prepared.
Well, they're just saying they want to fight. They didn't say they want to win.
Yeah, right.
So
but they also don't want to die, right?
I think also too,
there is a variable where you could die in the cage, right? Like, it happens.
There's other schools, and like I said, I don't want to trash other schools, but there are other schools who You come in, you pay your money, 2 months, you can get in the cage and stuff like that. To me, that looks horrible. If you go out there and you get smashed at Cage Wars, it's not a good look for me. It just is not a good look for me. And from a business point, but also
it's branding, dude. It's 100%, branding, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna let a guy go out and get his butt kicked, and then he wasn't ready, well, what does that say about your branding?
Yeah,
right, and your marketability? Because don't get it twisted. You're a phenomenal business person, and it takes some time to build that rapport and that right, have that charisma locally, and know that when someone comes in, there's a stamp. Yeah, it's 12 months. Yeah, that's what it's going to take. Yeah, and that's important for people to know that you're not going to rush them along just to get them an amateur fight.
And we trust, like I said, we've had horrible interactions with people because they're like, why that person came in after me? Why are they going in the cage before me? It's just like, you're just not ready. Right. So everyone learns different. You get Luis Melendez, who
Luis is doing great.
Right. Luis is now over at Glover Teixeira's gym and with their pro camp with Pereira and all those guys over there. He's great. I could have put him in day one into a cage match. He was such an athlete,
just a pure natural athlete. He came over and had Thanksgiving dinner with us last year.
He's the best.
He doesn't have any family locally. Yeah. And that's one of those things that I think me and you have in common is that, like you said prior when we started talking at the beginning, you want to treat people like family. Yeah. Right. And there's so many people, especially fighters, and people don't know this because at the professional level, fighters struggle to make money, save money, and keep money. Because people don't realize you're paying 30% of your purse to your training staff, right? And your living expenses, and then you got to eat, and then you got to travel. Oh, and by the way, your next fight isn't for another 9 months. Right. So if you got paid $60,000 after taxes and your expenses, you're only making like 20. Yeah. 25.
And that's
going to last 9 months.
Luis was a crazy thing because he signed to what's called Karate Combat.
Combat, yeah.
I think he had 5 fights there. 3 of which went viral, like
crazy. The one guy was a maniac. The one guy.
I was there for that.
The one guy set it off.
So he fought in Orlando, and at this time he's fighting Karate Combat. I don't know a thing about striking. I mean, I know enough to dissect it, look at it, that kind of stuff. But I'm just like, I'm going there just to be my guy's emotional support. Hey, you need this, you need that kind of stuff. So first we get down there, and Luis has the world's worst weight cut in the history of history.
And that's another scary part of this business too, is the weight cutting. Right.
So Luis normally fights at 170 MMA. He's fighting 165 down there.
Okay, that's not terrible.
Luis is an experienced fighter. He had like 6-7 fights with Cage Wars, and he's on fight 3 or 4 for Karate Combat. He's gone through weight cuts before. So I'm not even checking in on him, right?
Not even thinking about it.
Right.
How much did he weigh?
I don't know the exact weight.
Was it after Thanksgiving dinner with me?
No, it might have been. So we go down there, and I run into his manager, who is part of the Showtime Pettis crew. And he's like, what the? Yeah. I'm like, what? And he's like, bro, he's cutting 16 pounds the day of the fight. I'm like, what?
Day of?
Day of. So I say I go, Luis, and his manager is just like, bro, he got off the plane, he ate a bean burrito. I'm like, oh, all right, well, let's get through this, right? And literally, I'm lifting him in and out of. They had one of those little portable saunas.
Yeah, the hot tub. Yeah,
he couldn't even stand up and lift it in and out. But he goes out there, puts out a gritty performance because he was just so drained. Like, for Cage Wars, he's cutting 9 pounds tops. Right. Yeah. 8,
What people don't realize is that, let's think about that mathematically. If I weigh 160 and I cut 9, right? What's that percentage, right? So 16 is 10%. So it's like almost 6.5% of my body weight. Yeah. In pure fluid. Yep. Right? And that's all water weight.
And that's then salt, minerals, the whole 9.
And then you can't gain it back. So like, for example, Pereira cuts to 205 but walks around at 240. Right. I mean, there's a method. There's a scientific method to doing it, and there's a safe way to do it. But when you're a young amateur or not trained professional, there's a very easy way to die. Yeah, because when your sodium levels and your potassium levels are out of balance, right? Those are electrolytes in your body. Your cells stop communicating, right? And there's a big problem when your sodium levels drop because your heart needs sodium to run. Right. So, anyways, continue.
So he and what people don't know about Luis in those fights was he only had one fight that he had a full camp for, and he's still crazy knockouts, all kinds of stuff. And that fight he took on 2 weeks' notice, so he really wasn't in the kind of shape he needed to. Anyways, he beats the guy, and Luis said something looked at their corner, and their corner, this Brazilian guy goes nuts. Absolute.
This is on like
bonkers.
ESPN. Like this is huge.
It made ESPN.
ESPN.
So I see Luis just kind of like hop up on the apron and slide out, and they're trying to get to him. Well, that's my guy, right? So I'm with one of Luis's friends, and I'm like, come with me, and I'm running around the cage like I'm a fullback, just
barreling through people.
Right through people. People are getting like, what the? I'm like,
it doesn't matter how much security you have.
No, I'm running through that.
Everyone is a trained fighter, so it doesn't matter how many people there are.
So I end up not getting to Luis because security got him out to a separate location. I didn't have the credentials to get back to that location, but that was a crazy night. And then I went back to my hotel, didn't go to sleep because I had a 6 a.m. flight to come back here. So I'm like, oh, it's so crazy. But so I mean that's the kind of stuff you run into as a business owner. But like Luis is one in a million amateurs. Like, and you think about like he is still not even in the UFC. Right. I mean, so you think about the 1% of the 1%.
Like Luis, like as it comes to athletes, I would say that if you looked at being a coach, I've coached for a long time. I've no athletes. Luis is probably in the top 1/10 of a percent of all the athletes I've interacted with, and he's a physical freak, and he still needs a ton of training to even break through to the next level
and that's why like when he came to me and he's like, I'm like, go. That's where you need to be. I don't have the structure to talk
a little bit about that now. Let's talk about like, okay, I'm a new person off the street.
Yeah.
Never done this before and I want to get into it. What are some of the expectations I should have coming in? What should my costs be? What is my gear cost? Because that's probably going to be a hedge that a lot of people have before they get into this fighting, right? And before they sign up, there's a lot of internal costs that they're probably stressed out about, especially in the environment we're in.
Well, I think even the pre-question to that, before that outlay, how do you identify a team that's going to be quality training? Right? Because I've been in some dojos where it was just you pay and you get a belt.
Right.
And it wasn't really quality.
Break that into two pieces, right? So go with Mark first. What's your team? And then pretend I'm a new person. And how do you market to that person? Go ahead.
So I got 2 locations. Team Jacau New York is the overall business, the overall company. I got 2 locations. Team Jacau Scotia, Team Jacau Clifton Park.
Perfect.
And they are very, very different on purpose. Everyone's like, why New York?
Right.
When you have Team Jacau Scotia, you have Team Jacau Clifton Park. Here's the reason. Because when we opened up first in Rotterdam, it was how many people can spell Rotterdam, right? It's a weird, you know what I mean? It's not something that it just rolls off the tongue.
Scattercoke.
Right? So then we moved to Schenectady.
It
took me 15 years to learn how to say that correctly when I was a kid, right? So I'm not putting Team Jacau Schenectady on the back.
Right.
And so that's why we went with New York. And then we moved to Scotia. Like, all right, Scotia's way easy. And then we opened Clifton Park. So we're just like, all right, cool. Here's the mothership, right? The overall business.
Yep.
And then here's the locations. And as I add locations, it'll still be under Team Jacau New York.
Right.
So Team Jacau Clifton Park, I had awesome timing in opening up that school. I opened it up in October of 2019. 3 months before we completely closed down the entire world.
Right.
So
which was the worst close down ever. Right.
Ever.
Killed a lot of small businesses.
And now I'm going through this period where I'm like, it's crazy because, and we'll talk about the financial side of it, is SBA, right? A lot of companies or people who get their education reimbursed, paid for, you know, they got this, they got other thing. I still got an SBA loan I had to take out to keep my business open and running because I didn't know if we ever make contact again.
Right.
So that company, so SBA, Clifton Park went down. About end of the year 2020, I reopened it in our own location because the place we were at was at the G Box, and that place went out of business. So my business partner and I are like, we want it to be a Team Jacau. Like if you went to Scotia, you go, oh, another school here, cool, I'll go in here. But I want the school to be drastically different.
Okay.
Right. So we had some instructors in Clifton Park, and for whatever reason had to stop teaching, whatever. And that's when Nash, him and I hooked up, and he was he wanted to teach. So, and Nash has an extensive marketing background from working in retail and that kind of stuff. So I'm like, what do you think you can do with this? Like, break it down for it. Just like what you guys are saying to me. Like,
curriculum. Give me a curriculum.
And it's not so much curriculum as it is how are you going to connect and how are you going to go after people? You know what I mean? Coming from a different school that I respect, I didn't want him to be where like you brought your friends from that school to my school. I'm not looking for you to bring people. I'm looking for you to get people.
Gotcha.
I want you to bring me new people in. I don't care about someone from, if they come, they come. If they don't, they don't. Whatever. So you go to Clifton Park, it's a very different vibe than Scotia.
Oh, I can see that.
Right?
Yeah.
Clifton Park there's a lot of money in Clifton Park. There's a lot of different type of social, economic type of people compared to Scotia, where you're right across the river from Schenectady. You got a lot of kids, street kids, and guys who've been fighting for years and boxers and stuff like that. So what we've always done is look to add services, right? So Clifton Park, we jokingly refer to it as a more female-oriented...
The salon.
Yeah. So Nash is great with his female classes.
Good.
In Jiu Jitsu, females have a tendency to be mistreated. If you go to certain gyms, instantaneously someone tries to date that person, or they're too rough with them. It's a skill to make them feel comfortable where they are.
Yeah.
So he's done great, and where our barrier now is, now we don't have enough guys, right? So we've done a great job. So now through our marketing, we found a way of using our marketing effectively where we can start to bring people in. And we're running into it now in Scotia, where that's where the MMA team is. And I'm trying to grow an MMA team in Clifton Park as well, but it's not something you can easily do. It's something.
So you built a good team of coaches.
Yeah.
And then if I'm a new person in, right, what's my expectation? How much am I going to spend on gear? How much am I going to spend a year? Because people are going to ask that question, you know. So, and they don't they realize that, you know, you built the right team, Nels.
Yep.
And there's a value in being able to A, defend yourself, right, and B, be efficient if you ever need to protect your family and your kids. Now, listen, guys like us walking around, right, we're natural deterrents for people being stupid. Yeah. Right, but not everyone is 6'6", 350 pounds, right?
How many people come up to a bar on a drunken night and start mouthing off?
Right, and it's
all the time.
Well, not as much as one would hope, but yeah,
I don't go out to bars.
Right, I don't go out. Right,
in my 30s, people used to always try to start fighting me.
As frequently as you would, unbelievably, like I've had more weird interactions with women who are aggressive and angry and are like on the plane, for example. I almost got beat up on a plane because I was standing in the aisle, right, when the plane landed.
She was 65 too.
Right. She wanted to kill me. I'm like, lady, it's an aisle. But no, but just in general, like as a new player, a new person to the sport, if I'm going to sign up, what are my expectations for what I'm going to need to buy and what I should be expecting to spend on a good gym? Because I'm guessing that a less quality gym is probably going to be less expensive, but it's going to cost me more in the long run.
So for me, it's about communication.
Perfect.
Right? You come in, and a red flag always for me is, hey, I want to do UFC.
Oh, boy.
Okay, here we go.
Like,
one, that's not what it's called. Two, so compared to the person who comes in for jiu-jitsu,
right,
or Muay Thai, and says, wow, I love this stuff. Can I take a fight one time? You know what I mean? That's the kind of guy. So you come in, I explain to you how it works. How it works is we don't do contracts. At any time, you can leave. You know what I mean? You come in, you sign the documentation. You're going to get charged for a couple more months just because I'm letting you have a contract and I need to plan down the road.
Right? Well, you're structuring classes.
Could you imagine for you guys if 50% of your revenue went away next month and you'd be like, what are we going to do with this? You know what I mean? You need to be able to plan out ahead of time and how we're going to course correct. You get a free uniform when you come to my school.
Love it.
It's all about branding.
Marketing. Right? Good marketing right there.
You come to our class, you're going to wear a Team Jagal gi. I don't make you wear a Team Jagal gi, but when you get that for free, and we have some very nice high quality gis that So we have a...
for people that don't know, a gi is essentially like a tuxedo for fighting. They have a very tight fit on your body, and they keep your body somewhat compact as you fight and as you roll.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
So we sell rash guards, Team Jacal, everything. You know what I mean? I make it easy for you to wear my gear.
Which you should.
Right. So instead of going to Amazon and wait and cool, you roll. I like that rash guard. That's in my size. Cool, I'll pay for it. Your credit card's on file. Bang, boom, bang, bang. It's on you in 2 seconds. You know, make it easy for the customer to spend money with you. Plus, you're wearing a Team Jacal gi. You're wearing a Team Jacal gi.
Freaking walking billboard, right?
I don't want to wear an elite gi or something like that. Like I want to be part of the crew. You know, so that comes in. You pay the money for the whatever, and like I said, no one comes in and instantaneously goes into the MMA team. It's just not.
You just start taking classes.
Yeah.
Well, we also want to know who you are as a person.
Gotcha.
Like, so the MMA thing is kind of an invite, you know, where I work with Hakeem, who is my striking guy, and Codiana, who's my his assistant for the MMA team, and basically, and a couple of Bryce Ward, a couple of guys who are Cage Wars veterans, and they basically like, hey man, like this guy comes to class every time, listens, does what he's told, comes to jiu-jitsu. Let's start looking at getting him a fight down the road if he's interested.
It's not like someone's going to walk off the street and then just start rolling.
100%.
There's going to be almost kind of like a lead up.
Yeah.
To their temperament, because there are some people out there which people don't know.
Well, I think the easiest way to explain it is an evaluation process.
It's basically an evaluation.
Yep.
But there's some people out there that they'll roll from gym to gym and they just hurt people.
Yeah.
Right? They're idiots. They make stupid decisions. You know, you hear all the time about someone broke their neck, someone severed their cervical spine, someone dislocated their shoulder. If you're at a good gym, those injuries don't happen.
Yeah.
Because they know, the people that are training with you know well enough when, hey, dude, I got a really bad shoulder. Just be really careful, right? And you get in that position, and they're going to stop. You're going to give them that 2-tap, and it's done. Like, you're done rolling. Right?
Yeah, and you get some kids that come in, like Chris Serafini, who fight in the last card. I was in his corner for that. He's a wonderful kid. His whole family comes to my gym. Great people.
Yep.
Man, that guy does not have the self control that he had from wrestling and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He can hurt somebody. Someone our size can hurt somebody.
Oh my God.
I have torn. It's funny. I go do like anti-bullying talks, and a buddy of mine, John George, does a 518 conditioning out in Burn Hills, and he has me come in and teach a class to the little kids. And the first thing is I always say, because I always tell them like, hey, be careful with this, because you could break someone's neck with this, or you can do this, blah blah blah. And they're like, have you ever had bone broken? I'm like, no, but I've broken a decent amount of people's bones or torn ligaments, and they look at you like, which ones?
Right.
And you start to list it, and then you're like all these, like the girl, the 7th grade girl that was looking at like she wants to throw up because you broke someone's ankle in a leg lock or something like that. So it's a temperament thing. It's someone who's going to listen.
So there's a bit of an evaluation period. What about for kids? Do you guys have a kids friendly?
We have a kids program.
Program.
Kids is always tough. Like Clifton Park area, it's a lot of soccer and
soccer, baseball.
Yep, there's a lot of people out in Scotia play baseball and that kind of thing. So it's not hard in terms of once you get them in. Mm-hmm. It's hard to keep them long term. 1% of all people in jiu-jitsu get a black belt. So you think about that, like how many people in the community try and go into jiu-jitsu compared to how many people of those 10, like say 10% of the world try it, then 1% of them goes on the black belt. So let's rewind that to kids. How many kids do you think are going to go through the entire kids program into jiu-jitsu, make it 18, 19 years through the whole sport? Like, I'm 18 years into it now, right? And I got stuff that don't work no more, shoulders and stuff like that. Yeah. You're going to start at the age of 4 and get there, right? How many kids are going to do that? So we have a kids program. We have a kids Muay Thai program.
Good.
It's there are people who stick with it all the time. They're going to be lifetime customers. There are people who come and go. And that's the toughest part for me, is letting people go. People who either just don't work out, or just go move on to something else. That kind of stuff is difficult, because I put my whole heart into people.
Yeah.
And, all of a sudden they're like, yeah, I'm just going to stay home with my kids and
I'm
that
bagging it.
Yeah, and that's cool, man. It's not long term. You gotta be a real sicko to do this as long as I have and continue to do it.
I think there's an element of discipline that just like a good investor, right? If you're going to be good at something and you want to do it well, then you got to do it for a long period of time, and it's not going to happen overnight, right? Yeah. Whether it be building a business, staying in great shape, right? Learning a trade, learning a skill. This is going to take time.
Yeah.
So
the nice thing too about like Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is it's a different discipline.
Right.
So you could have somebody that's a black belt in Taekwondo or Shotokan or something along that lines, and I would imagine they come in thinking, oh, well, I'm going to be accelerated through that program, but you're talking totally different muscle group, totally different, you know what I mean?
I get parents all the time like, hey, my kid's 8. He's a 3rd degree black belt in Taekwondo. Yeah. And like, internally, I'm like, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like,
totally different.
Great accomplishment. And it proves that the kid can learn and the kid can listen and that kind of stuff. But in the end, like, there's nothing like jiu-jitsu. Like, wrestling is the closest thing. Because there's just so much stuff that doesn't make sense in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, like, you want to be on your back, and you need to let people take control of you to win, right?
Yeah.
That's where I struggled, because I was a wrestler. I love wrestling, and when I did my first BJJ class, they were like, "Yep, now it's time to go on your back." I was like, "No,
yeah, right."
No. I'm like, that don't happen. I'm gonna get on top of the guy. They're like, that's what they want. I'm like, well, great, then I'm going to kick his butt, like, I'm on top of him, I'm pinning him. And they're like, no, dude, you don't understand. Like, you're losing all your angles by not being on your back, because it's all about your hips, and it's all about angles on getting a bigger joint to go against a smaller joint, right? Yeah. That's really what BJJ
Nothing is more
right?
than fun than having a wrestler, putting him on his back, and just grab his hips and hold on, and just watch them slowly die inside.
Yeah, it's so frustrating because, I never succumbed to getting on my back because I didn't understand, right? Because as a wrestler, you're always told mount, get on top, pin, right? So I struggled heartily. It was one of the few sports I struggled with, and ultimately, again, I've always doubled down on wrestling. I love it, but it's something that I wanted Nels to share his story and how he built his business, because A, there's a sense of community. B, there's a sense of discipline, right? And the most important thing, C, is that he opens his gym up to all people. And I love...
Sometimes it doesn't go right.
Well, that's either here nor there. Not everyone's going to be perfect, right? But, we are very much in a world where, I have a daughter, he has 2 daughters. We want our kids to be well equipped, right? And I teach my kids how to wrestle. And, I'm very physical with them. There are studies out there that say that dads that are physical with their kids, those kids have a way better temperament and way better understanding of the world. And that's just who I am. That's how I grew up. My dad was always physical with me. We always wrestled. And, sometimes there's going to be anger and frustration. And then, we do have those conversations where, hey, should we do a jiu-jitsu class, or should we do a wrestling class? Because we do Shen wrestling with Lincoln, and Sammy does it. But I really want parents out there to take this and take it for what it's worth. Get your kids into something physical, because we live in a world right now where everyone's telling our kids, don't be physical, keep your hands to yourself, and that's really hurting kids, right? Kids not climbing trees, kids not banging into each other. There is a physical value of having the ability to just physically dominate someone. You know what I mean? It's a great 100%. Feeling. My son plays flag football. And there's we don't have a terrible record as a flag football team, but he is a road grader, right? And the kids come up to him all the time, and he loves it. They're like, Lincoln, are you Lincoln? Oh my God, I don't want to go against you, right? So it's that, to Nels' point, it's that element of creating a discipline that's going to make sense for your kids and for you as an adult, because I'm guessing if you go as a parent, you're going to want to go and check out the sport as well, right? And you can.
So this is why I give advice to every kid. So I wanted to teach kid jiu-jitsu. You cannot pay me enough money to walk into a kid jiu-jitsu class right now. That's my business partner's area.
It's very hard.
I can't handle the noise anymore.
It's so noisy. Yes.
But my daughter, who you've seen before, she's at every Cage Wars with me. And it's funny because my mom's 80, and she's just like, do you think she should be at this event? I'm like, yes. And funny story real quick, and then we'll get back to the kids.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Richie's last fight.
Yeah.
So Richie's last fight, I'm in his corner, Cloud Hammer. Richie's oldest child plays lacrosse.
Richie has 6 kids, I think. He's got more kids than I've ever met in my life.
And 13 dogs now.
13 dogs.
Yeah, love Liz. But
God bless him.
So his oldest plays lacrosse. And lacrosse in Burnt Hills is very, like, Huge. Yeah. It's a big sport.
Burnt Hills and Niski.
All of those parents are friends with me. I coach their kids in basketball. Yep. They're some of my closest friends. So like 15 people come to his event, right? So my daughter's sitting in the crowd with her friend. And shout out for Slim, because Slim always hooked up with tickets. And so she goes there. Now, mind you, I have 4 or 5 people on the card. I probably have somewhere in the neighborhood of 400, 500 tickets sold for Team Jacau. I have at least 30 students in the crowd. It's like undercover agents everywhere.
Right, yeah.
So
surrounded by your friends.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
So all these guys come to this fight and they don't know anything about the sport. So they keep tapping my daughter and talking to her. Well, it's so loud and you can't hear what's, we couldn't have a conversation like this. So one of my brown belts and one of our oldest students and one of the guy who's really a right-hand man of mine is Jay Wood.
Yeah.
Jay's a stand-up dude. And Jay goes up to my daughter and is like, is everything good here? And she's kind of like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, these guys keep talking to you. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's my dad's friend. Don't worry. Cool. So I texted them that night, and they were like, I was like, hey, thanks for looking out for my daughter. Everything was cool, but you never know, whatever.
Never know.
And Jay's like, yeah. He's like, there were about 10 to 15 Jacau guys that were closely watching their interaction with your daughter. I talked to some of those other guys who are like, yeah, they're very close to getting dragged out of there. And I'm just like, I tell my mom, like, she's good. Like she's like the queen over there.
Safest human on the planet.
That's to your point what family is.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So my daughter's very tall, but she's very slender, and she's a great girl and likes to have a good time and likes to. I was always very concerned about him being too gullible, too nice, too understanding, and someone taking advantage of that. So when we started, I trained both my kids in Jiu Jitsu. Now, my daughter is a pretty good basketball player, so she plays year round now, so she doesn't have time for it. And my son plays football and basketball, so he doesn't have any time for it. But my daughter had an incident in middle school where 2 boys were picking on her. Mm-hmm. They were hitting her with metal water bottles, those hydro flasks,
whatever. Yeah, this emotional support water bottles.
Yeah, whatever you want to call Stanley's. So. We've had honest conversations in my household. Like, this is acceptable behavior. This is not. A boy hitting you to show that he likes you is not acceptable. Right? We don't play that in my household. So there are 3 rules, 3 T's. Talk, tell, and we'll get to the last T in a second. So talk, hey, Mark, I don't appreciate you calling me that name. I don't like it. Could you stop? Mark could be like, hey, cool. Like, hey, my bad. I thought we were just joking. You know what I mean? I joke all the time. People take care. Cool. Does it again. Now I have to tell somebody. I tell a teacher. I got to tell a parent or whatever. Like, hey, I've asked this dude to stop. He's not. I don't want this going on anymore. Please do something about it. Happens the next day. 3rd T is tackle. We're fighting. Right? Mm-hmm. And this is the part that schools no longer like to have me come
Schools
talk.
Struggle here. Yeah.
Right? And I understand it. And what I say to these kids is have the conversation with your parents. What is acceptable? I love those things where it says like those memes are like if you tell your child that if my child punches them, you can punch them back, you're part of the problem. Hell no. You're part of the problem. Right? I've told both my kids.
The free one. No,
I've told my kids, both my kids, as long as you follow the rules of talk, tell, the last 3, light that kid up. You know what I'm saying? And if you get suspended, we're gonna have a grand old time at home. We're gonna have lunch. We're gonna go out and have dessert, all kinds of stuff.
There's an element there of the reality that needs to set in.
Yeah.
Right, and that this new reality is that I can run my mouth and I can do things the way I want to do them because we live in a free country and there's no consequence to the freedoms that I take advantage of.
Sure.
And sometimes you need to be reminded of those consequences, right? And that's a very important point. And I had a similar situation with my daughter, right? She had a boy who was messing with her, right? And we went in the whole sit down, right? Administrators, right? And then we got to the end of the conversation, and I looked at both of the wonderful administrators, and I said, "You realize that if this happens again, I've already told Sammy to let it loose." Yeah. Right? And they kind of looked at me funny, and I was like, You know what I'm saying, right? Like, you understand? Like, she is like her father. She's 6'2" and she's in 4th grade, right?
Yeah.
She's being nice right now, and then soon she's not going to be nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's important for people to understand that when you do that, there's a level of confidence you have to have, right? That you want to implore to your kids. There's a level of confidence you have to defend yourself and or others around you.
Yes.
Right. So I think it's really important you brought that up, because a lot of our listeners, I think when you look back on the greater good of society, it doesn't happen enough where someone steps in.
Yeah.
So frequently you see everyone like doing what? They're on their phone recording it rather than actually
while it's happening.
Making a difference in someone's life and changing the outcome of that situation, right? And it's very frustrating to see that still. And I hope, things that are happening locally and nationally, I hope people start to make changes in the right direction, and don't be a bystander, right? Help someone, be a change in someone's life.
The guy was on Rogan. Is it Jordan Peterson?
Yeah.
Right, and he said to learn how to be dangerous, but control that danger.
He was talking about the male psychology, and that there is a certain fear that comes with being a man because we have power, but the fact that we can control that power. Right, is what gives you the ability to disseminate between what's good and what's bad.
Yep.
Right. So he's very intellectual too. He's a phenomenal person to listen to. He makes great arguments. But so give us a little bit about your business. Where can they find you? Website. Yeah. How do we sign up? And then we'll cut out.
So like I said, I have 2 locations. If you go to bjjny.com. That's my website.
We'll scroll that right across the bottom.
Yep.
Sam will scroll that.
Click on that. You'll see schedules, and it's going to be revamped. So Matt McCarthy.
We got a great website person, by the way.
Do you really?
Yeah.
We got to talk.
Her name is Jenny. She's awesome.
Because I pay a fortune for my website.
We'll call her. We'll go my office and call her. She's awesome.
So I need to revamp. I have like if you look at the pictures now on the website, and you walk into my school, it looks nothing like what's on there. Right. It has the old puzzle mats there and stuff. So I have my schedule there for both locations.
Okay.
You do not need to make a reservation. Just show up, right? You get a free week. Come on in, try it out. If you need some extra time, we'll give you extra time. Right. We're not going to be super pressuring about that, right? We have close to 200 students right now. I don't need another student, but I want more students. Right. So we're not going to pressure you. If you need another week, we'll give you another week. Try all the classes out. Try both schools out. Like I said to you guys before, the schools are dramatically different for a reason.
Yeah.
You may come in and be like, I can't stand when Nels teaches jiu-jitsu. But Professor James, love that guy.
Right.
Nash.
Find your flavor.
I love that guy.
Find your flavor.
And that's exactly what it is. It'd be like if you guys just sold mutual funds.
Right now,
wait a minute. I want to buy something different. Right. Sorry, you got to go someplace else.
We don't do ETFs here,
right? Right. So I've designed these schools with my business partner, and who's the guy? Is it Richard Branford? Owns Virgin Records and all that stuff.
Branson.
Yes, that guy. I was just talking about this. My nephew came and did an interview with me, and they said, take care of your staff, and your staff will take care of your customers.
Yep. It's the little things,
right? That's what we've done better than anyone else.
Great.
Is that we've either built you up ourselves, or you've come to us and you meet the certain characteristics that we feel is important.
Well, I mean, it's really important you said that, because the infrastructure of a great business comes from the people that work inside of it, right? It's like, Mark and I own this business here at Iron Tree, but, the most important thing are the people that work with us.
Right.
The partners and the people that work and keep this thing running, right?
You guys couldn't do that. You guys can't manage everybody.
Can't do everything.
You can't manage every trade.
You can try. You can try, but you'd suck at it.
So, I mean, like we said, we have 200 students. We have 15 people. In the backstage at Last Cage Wars, we have an in-house masseuse.
Wow.
I have 3 people that can hold pads. I have 2 people that come for each student. Yeah. Right. He's not going to warm you up and for a fight. I'm going to warm you up, but I got a guy his size.
You don't want me to hurt him.
That's right.
He'll slap me around. Nels, after you leave, he's going to slap me. I talked too much this episode.
But that's what I'm saying is building that infrastructure goes way past Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, and here it's a business structure mindset that has to do it. And luckily, I was a business major in college. My partner, ran businesses for the state of New York. we just figured this out 2 years ago. Like how we were a cluster in the back. We're running around. Now it's
seamless.
2 weeks out from the fights. Cody, what do you need?
But that takes time. That takes time. That takes intelligence.
Yeah.
It takes a learning curve. So you're on the right track, right? You're on the right track. So that's why I want people to make sure they sign up and they check you guys out.
So, like I said, come figure it out. Go to both schools. If you need more time to make it to both schools, cool. If you need more time, for our Muay Thai, I have a wholesale account with Hayabusa, who's a great partner. The owner beat me up in a jiu-jitsu tournament and probably felt bad for me. So we have wraps, gloves, everything right there on site. If we don't have it, we can order it for you.
So what's the best contact number?
So
how would they call? Like email, phone call?
So it's on our website. I'll give my phone number. I don't care.
No. What's your generic like?
This is Mike Jones right here.
I want to call it. I don't know. Give me your number out. You get spammed. You have your phone calls.
My wife is already like I had to put so much stuff on mute because my team is and you'll attest to this.
Okay, I've gotten about 15 calls since we've been sitting here.
That's why I put my phone on. I'm just like, what's going on here? My phone just blows up constantly. And my wife is like 8 o'clock at night. Who are you talking to? I'm like, I don't know, some guy that wants to come do jiu-jitsu, in our place. But it's like, and that's like like I said, my nephew came in, did a business review of us, and it's just like, if you want days off, don't own your own business.
Correct.
Right? Your business never sleeps. Money never sleeps.
The business owner mindset. That. That's great because I know when Mark is taking a day off, I know it because I can't get a hold of him because he doesn't have his phone. Because if he has his phone, he's going to pick it up, right? Yeah. You have to leave your phone in your house. So what's the best contact?
So phone number is 518.
Here we go.
620. 6502.
And then you also have your own podcast.
Correct. We're on hiatus right now.
That's all right, but you still have a podcast people can look up.
We do. Professor and the Hammer with Rich Hammer. We talk a tremendous. This is intellectually 30 times above the Professor and the Hammer. We usually get into some stuff.
It is a hilarious podcast to listen
to. Richie's one of my best friends. Richie's a guy who came in, completely transformed his life through jiu-jitsu and MMA. He also has had more jobs than anyone I've ever met.
More jobs
history in the world.
He's probably like 80 jobs.
Yeah, and he just lives a lifestyle that I have. I just can't grasp my hand around.
He's got 13 dogs. I think
he literally Liz keeps on rescuing dogs, but he's one of the guys that if I called him right now, I'd be like, yo, I need you now.
He would show up.
He'd be here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I have. I'll have to send you later. I don't have it right off the top of my head, but there was a guy that says you need 5 people. You need someone that will help you bury a body. We needed someone that would be your cheerleader. We need someone that would be your pickup. And I'm lucky because Richie is all 5 of those people for me. He's the guy that if I need a pickup, I call him. If I need help, I'll call him.
One guy and 13 dogs.
Yeah. Listen,
he can accomplish anything.
Listen, he got Belgian Malinois and Shepherds. He even got poodles.
Every now and then I got to do a Zoom call with him because I'll be working on something with him for our fun game nights and stuff. And I'll see a Zoom and I'm like, what was that? He's like, that was one of my dogs. Zoom, go the other way. What was that?
Bro, I know. we haven't done a podcast in a year or so like that, just because I'm so busy. I was talking. Busy I was talking to my mom, and I told her to see if she could match my productivity today, which is go to work, do a podcast on my lunch break, go back to work, go to my son's 4:15 football game, run his practice for an hour. Then go to a
UGJ class, right?
No, I don't teach on Wednesdays, thank God. And then on Thursdays, I do teach. I'm missing it to do a booster club meeting for the girls' basketball program. So it's I'm gonna be nonstop until 10:30 tonight.
Spin more plates, right? So there's a great opportunity for our listeners. I think Nels is running a great business locally. If you want to find him, we're gonna post his website right at the bottom of our episode here. BJJ could be for everyone. It may be for you. You might want to check it out.
We also offer Muay Thai. We also offer women's only classes. We offer kids classes. We offer kids Muay Thai classes. If I got people who cool people. They just don't have any friends. They moved from this area.
Sure.
They come in.
It's a great social. It's a great social outlet.
They become part of the family.
Right? You do one day a week. You'd become a social thing, right?
Or, hey, this could be a place you come in 2, 3, 4 hours a week. You come, you train, you go home. You don't talk to anyone for the cool.
Could be a great workout, right? Yeah. So you're gonna check out Nels.
I promise you. Whatever your problem is, it will fix. I guarantee. It's the snake oil of the 1930s, right? It fixes everything.
Fills the void.
Either you're introvert or an extrovert, or you're worried about physical contact from somebody, or maybe you struggle with impulse control. I swear to God, it fixes everything. It's amazing.
Well, it exhausts you as well. So
it's a great
the exhaustion of being wrestling or BJJ.
Yeah.
It physically crushes you. So if you're looking for something new to try, it's getting close to winter time, and this is when Nels is on an upswing, right? He's going to get a lot more clients. Check them out. They're in Clifton Park. They're in Scotia.
Yep.
Okay. We're gonna roll the website across. We hope you liked our episode today. Again, we're here to educate and motivate our young athletes to make great financial decisions, and doing something that's going to build discipline is one of those things. Yeah. You can always find us at 19 British American Boulevard, Latham, New York 12110. You can also email us at irontreefinancial@ceterais.com. I don't think the 800 number works anymore.
800-222-3202.
Here we go. Mark's got a new 800 number.
That's why
One
Mark's
more time, just a little bit slower for me.
800-222-3202.
Okay, new 800 number is up and running. The old 800 number goes to, I think, a pizza place now. I've called it a couple times. I keep calling it for pizzas. Sorry. But as always, it's your coach.
And your money. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Your Time, Your Money. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to share this with friends, family, coworkers, anyone else that you think might be interested. If you do have questions or topics, you can always email them to irontreefinancial@ceterais.com. Please follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Spotify, Google Play, and many other sources that were available. And you can reach us at 844-444-YTYM. And as always, it's your time and your money. Cetera Investors is the marketing name of Cetera Investment Services. Securities and insurance products are offered through Cetera Investment Services, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC. Advisory services are offered through Cetera Investment Advisors, LLC. Cetera is under separate ownership from any other named entity.